learn from it?
Well, see, to be fair, see when I've played in cover bands pretty much all my days, so you don't really get big failures, if you know what I mean. You don't. Sorry, you don't. Nothing can go completely wrong. I think I've never been in a situation like that.
You listened to the podcast I done yesterday to hear Crawford's story. You
Right.
think differently about that.
Right.
Oh, you go, mate. Sorry.
No, it's I don't know. Again, that's a really tough one, mate. I don't really have any regrets.
See why I was like, do you want to look at these questions for?
I know. There was a reason. I know. I'll just go unprepared.
No, but I like
fuck,
that. But
I
as
can't
well,
answer
mate, 'cause
that.
if somebody asked me, I would prefer to be like, look, you know what? That's a question that requires a bit more thought than just spiel some fucking bullshit into the mic and just because you've been put on the spot with it. Do you know what I mean? So it's all right, mate. It gives us a chance for when you're on next time to.
I would say
answer these
probably.
questions
No,
again.
I've had a wee think about it. I think we would turn up far too early some of the gigs and obviously start drinking far too early. And some of the gigs I don't remember finishing. And that was pretty bad. So I do regret that. And I suppose I learned from that. If people are paying to see you, you can't fucking behave like that. You know what I mean? So
There's that you learned a bit of a lesson on professionalism and taking pride in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I think as well, the funny thing it'll be like, he's probably had a great night and everybody probably loved it, right? But I know what you're saying. Like if you think about it now, and you're about to go and play to 15,000 folk doing James songs.
I know.
Like the idea of getting smashed before that is like,
And no remembering it.
what the fuck? Why
what
would
happened,
you want to do that?
You know?
Like,
Did I play? That is. You can learn a lot for that, mate.
Totally,
you really
man.
can, even in your life. You know what I mean? You're doing it for fun. So.
No, I mean I think that's really important, mate. Like it's a sense of pride in what you're doing. Now, like it's dead easy to fall into when you're the traps of in the band and pubs all the time. Like, I'll have a pint, I'll have 2 pints, and then you've had 5 pints before you go on, and everybody's steaming, and the performance is lackluster and that, and nobody's inspired by the last gig he's done to come to the studio for the next 6 weeks to go to do the next gig. You know what I mean? So I think that's really important, mate. Like when you go to the gym, like you have to go and you go to the gym consistently for a couple of weeks, you start to see some results, and that spurs you on to keep going. So as you go, it actually gets easier mentally and easier because you're getting stronger and fitter. And I think it's kind of the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I guess it's dead easy to be like, oh no, I know what I'm doing. I'm really comfy here. I can do what I want. But when you put it that way as well, like somebody's paying to come and see you, and that conflicts with I'm having a good time doing what I want, and you have to be able to balance them out and arrange that, or it'll be hard to find any sort of success as even like a pub musician like me. Do you know what I mean? Like it's.
I mean, when I'm talking like we'd been rolling about the floor kind of thing. Honestly, it was fucking mental. I think it was a woman. I'd bent down. I think it was in the Milton Inn. I'd bent down. I'd far too much to drink, and it was like later on in the night. And a woman was dancing, and she knocked me right, kind of right in the head, and I ended up right through Jerry's drum kit. You know what I mean?
We're just looking at Jerry's drum kit here, sitting next to us as well.
Right through it, kind of crash, bang, rolling a bit. And I get up and I was quite angry with the woman, you know what I mean? Obviously, you're just like, oh, come on, what you doing, kind of thing. And,
I mean, she might have given you a concussion, but it sounds it as well.
But, just total embarrassing,
I know.
But that's my regrets.
But that's the thing, but as well, like, that's rock and roll, innit? Do you know what I mean? Like, think about it like what like the punk acts and all that would have been doing, like, and then like.
To be fair, if I was watching it, I would find it highly entertaining. You know what I mean? But that for all the wrong reasons, What? Fucking check this out, man.
Did you see that video that was floating about? And it's a band are playing. They're kind of older guys, must be 60 plus. Four of them, and like the singer's telling the drummer that he's lagging. He's like drifting out of time a wee bit, and he's going like at him, pick it up. And the guy's like that, fucking jumps up and pushes the singer, and then the singer comes back in, and the two of them are wrestling in the drum kit, and fucking the two other members of the band are trying to keep playing, and they're like, what the fuck is going on?
Still playing.
It was floating about Facebook and that for a while there. It's good, no? It's like there's a really bad one I know where the guy's playing. He's in the Cavern Club in Liverpool, and the guy comes up and whips his feet away from him while he's playing, and he falls forward, smashes his guitar up, and I think it was because he was playing Sweet Caroline. Apparently, I don't know if that's a justification for it, but I remember
Tommy's guitar gets smashed. I don't know if you'll remember that. It was or Jerry told you. If MD's ever mentioned it. It was in the Stag's Head, and Tommy'd get this guitar. I can't remember who. It was a loan of to try it out. So he had it sitting in the stand, and a couple of drunk folk. It was a guy and his wife started having an argument, and they went to walk out the door that had been locked with all the gear, and she tripped and fell right through Tommy's guitar, and it snapped in half.
Was it electric?
Aye.
Oh my God.
But wow, you're just like, can't believe that. Sorry, I just went off there.
No, mate, that's absolutely fine, mate. That's the kind of thing we want to be doing. Like that's they take the twists and turns that go where the conversation takes us, mate. Do you know what I mean? Especially by down the memory lane, there's always good things to think about, and I'm hoping that a lot of people from my age, for your age, for younger than me, will end up listening to this, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people who will remember some of these stories and remember these venues and gigs and stuff, So, no, mate, that's brand new, man. I'm always happy to talk about our stuff, man. What is one myth about being a musician that you would like to debunk?
Money. Money. That's it.
Or the supreme lack of it.
Yeah, definitely. If you think you're ever become a musician and get rich, nah, it's just not going to happen.
I know. Well, I think it's funny, like we do end up talking about stuff like this often, and it's like the X Factor kind of approach, I think, has given a lot of people the idea, especially the younger generations, that you just need to learn a few songs, look a certain way, and boom, it's like you're going to make the money, you know what I mean? And so money is always a driving factor, but I think, like anything, you've got to find the joy in just doing it, and just the joy of the activity, do you know what I mean? And then all that success comes later, do you know what I mean? But like, I think there's been many times I'm standing on stage and I'm asking myself, like, this gig is going terrible.
Right.
Why am I fucking doing this? You know what I mean? But then that song will finish, and then you'll have a wee break and go back on, and everybody will be clapping and cheering and singing along, and for 10 minutes it'll feel like you've made it again, do you know?
Yeah.
And then so I think I'm probably balancing out those those good days with the bad days. And
well, see, again, talking about bad days, it was Darko and I done a gig, and it was through in Lanark, through an agency, and it was called, what was it, the Woodpecker Inn. And it was just mental. From kind of starting, it was all kind of younger folk mixed with older kind of mental folk.
Aye.
And they were all doing shots and drinking Venom and in and out the toilets, and it was getting rowdier and rowdier, and we were trying to play like Eric Clapton and
acoustic
nice
covers,
just wee acoustic covers, and the other gig we'd played was in a Croatian restaurant, which was really nice and very sedate, it was and this was just mental, and it resulted in like women with their boobs out, and it was absolutely Darko, he's Croatian, he's like, what the fuck is going on? There's they're like fucking monkeys. He's like, look at it, and they're no listening.
No.
And then they decided to like kind of take over and shouting for Oasis. Apparently, we need to learn Oasis.
Aye.
So
Well, that's a classic thing if you play it in pubs, isn't it? Why play Wonderwall, mate? Why play Wonderwall?
I mean, I do like Oasis, but it's not really anything I've ever been interested in playing.
Nah,
you know.
I always keep a few. Like I always try to find if there's like a certain band, and I've enjoyed Oasis over the years. I haven't been a big fan of Oasis for many years now. Do you know? But I did for a long time. I loved them, and learned loads of their songs and stuff.
Yeah.
But I only play 2 now, really, and I'll just keep them in the bank in case anybody asks for them. Do you know what I mean? But like it's like anything else. Like we are the singers that are playing, and we've got to be interested in what we're doing and all. And like people who are as big as Oasis, and it's kind of like everybody plays them. Like it's the Oasis singers.
I don't think I would do it any justice.
Yeah, totally, man. I think I like in a venue like that, you're kind of up against it a wee bit. You've got a.
It was quite hairy.
You've got a bit of a hill to climb there. Do you know what I mean?
That's a wee bit different. The new thing doing the acoustic band.
So that's with Darko, and Darko's the guitarist in the James cover band.
Yeah.
I know that's brilliant, man. It's like another facet of musicianship. Do you know?